Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe. To combat drastically falling ratings, the USA Network reportedly told WWE last year they want edgier, more adult content from Monday Night Raw, which they quickly replied with Ric Flair banging Lacey Evans. But historically for WWE, that's remarkably restrained, as 15 years ago, following Edge's first WWE title win, the promotion staged one of the most controversial segments of the Ruthless Aggression era, a live sex celebration with Edge and Lita in the ring, in the wrestling ring. And now Lita has revealed on her Twitch channel that WWE threatened to fire her if she didn't do it, despite her being uncomfortable performing the segment. And it wasn't just Lita who objected. Apparently Edge, John Cena, and others all protested that the segment be dropped, but Vince McMahon liked it so much, he overruled them all. This seemingly led to Lita's departure from the company later that year, where she was once again buried and demeaned on her way out. Women's Revolution. The anarchist-style faction Retribution debuted in WWE in August last year, comprised of Performance Center wrestlers who complained about not being given the same treatment as the main roster. Turns out, it was kind of a shoot. According to Fightful Select, following their main roster call-up last year, each member of Retribution, not including their already main roster established leader Mustafa Ali, were all given new contracts of $250,000 per year, which is significantly lower than a lot of the other contract offers WWE have given out in the past couple of years. But at least they actually received new contracts, as according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, there are other recent NXT call-ups who are making the same money on the main roster as they were on NXT, and will continue to do so until WWE resumes their touring schedule or until their contract expires and they're offered a new one. It was noted that these lower contract offers were due in part to the pandemic, with things like fewer live events and no fans in attendance to buy merchandise. But that didn't stop WWE from posting record profits in 2020. Speaking of contracts, Wrestling Observer Live is reporting Ricochet's WWE deal is up potentially as soon as this month, after he signed a 3-year deal in 2018 and he still hasn't signed a new one. If he does let his contract expire, he'll be able to walk into another promotion like AEW right away, as there would be no 90-day non-compete clause like when wrestlers are released. Ricochet, remember, was challenging for Brock Lesnar's WWE Championship just under a year ago. On the latest episode of his Talk is Jericho podcast, Chris Jericho revealed he tested positive for COVID-19 last year around the same time that Nick Jackson did, speaking to his guest, Dr. Alex Patel. I tested positive back in maybe September, and I had 0 symptoms. I'm one of the ones that you said, I had my 10 days in isolation and stayed away from everybody, and I didn't have a symptom. I didn't even know that I had it. I went and got a test, just in general, and it was one of those ones that said you're positive. I was like, really? You're serious? And I had nothing. Like, I didn't have a headache, I didn't have a cough, which I guess is a very lucky thing. Now it's time for my review of last night's AEW Dynamite. In about 5 minutes. Thanks for your support on Patreon. He can last Sean for longer than you in the ring, and the cleaner Kenny Shah. New Year's Smash Part 2 was more immediately a mini pay-per-view than last week's, opening on Eddie Kingston vs. Pac, a match with a months-long blood feud, complete with restaurant-quality video package. Kingston's brawling, emotional style is so engaging. It's like he's always wrestling his last match, and he's falling apart while he does it. His desperation against Pac's violence almost made him feel like a sympathetic babyface at times, even with the family interfering at ringside. Pac won the solid opener with the Black Arrow and then locked in the Brutalizer for extra damage points. Lance Archer chased off the family afterwards, providing a literal stare down. Seriously, Pac is a full head shorter than Lance. It'll be interesting to see who wins that next feud, as it feels like a #1 contendership rivalry for the AEW title. The Best Friends versus Best Man feud waited so long, Trent's injury means they've had to reroute. Instead, Chuck Taylor will be the focus of Trent's 5-month recovery. He started strong against Miro, but a scuffle between Orange Cassidy and Kip Sabian outside let Miro enter squash mode, looking great, throwing punches and suplexes, then tapping Chucky in game over, meaning Taylor will now be Miro's butler. Trent being injured sucks, but Chucky T getting to show off his excellent comedic chops could be a silver lining. Dasher alert! Matt Hardy revealed to Private Party their contracts with him hand over 50% of third-party earnings. The WWE jab feels a bit tired, and this storyline isn't grabbing me, but I appreciate Private Party having something to do. The Inner Circle then revealed their New Year's resolutions. Jake Hager's is championships, yeah! Which is his fun new catchphrase. Ortiz is perfecting his grandma's cooking recipe, and MJF's is strengthening the bonds he's formed with his Inner Circle best friends forever. And fat shaming. But the most interesting was Jericho's, to win the tag team titles with MJF. Sammy Guevara then pointed out Jericho used to tag with him, and then he tagged with Hager. Now it's MJF? Chris Jericho is a tag team slut! So Jericho continued the settling their differences in the ring theme for the Inner Circle and booked a 3-way of him and MJF versus Santana and Ortiz versus Sammy and Hager championships, yeah! To decide the official tag team of the Inner Circle. I love this story. Dasher alert! The band is back together. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. Don Callis got them to do separate entrances ahead of their 6-man tag so he could do a proper ring introduction for Kenny Omega's best friends in the world and Quizzlemania Tag Team Champions, the Good Brothers. Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows coming out instead of the Bucks was a great layer. Callis never did say Kenny would team with the Bucks after all. It makes you wonder who's behind leaving Matt and Nick Jackson in the cold. All of the Super Elite or just Don? I think the former. This is petty payback for the Bucks not joining Kenny at All Out. It was such a douche move, it actually made me momentarily dislike Omega as a person. I forgot he was a character. So low-key, we got Galanderson's in-ring AEW debut for a really good match against the Varsity Blondes and Danny Limelight. We got a surprising amount in, but Gallows and Anderson won with a magic killer. Then out came Mox, the spirit of AEW, to go right for Kenny. He's got a 3-on-1 disadvantage, but as JR said, some men are just born for conflict. The Lucha Bros ran down to help, prompting a mass pull-apart brawl. Kenny escaped as the Bucks tried to calm Moxley down, but they turned into Lucha Bros super kicks. It should always be Pentagon and Phoenix, potentially reviving their 2019 feud. This was a great overall segment in that it set up so many incredibly exciting possibilities. The loudest being Trios Championships incoming. In a change of pace, we then got Britt Baker's fun waiting room segment with Cody, which was mainly a way to surprise him with Jade Cargill, who wants her first match. This started another pull-apart brawl, which awkwardly cut into Thunder Rosa's promo revealing her match against Baker has been moved to Beach Break. I'm seeing double here. 4 women's feuds. Jungle Boy debuted his Christmas present from Tony Khan on Dynamite. His new entrance music, Tarzan Boy by Baltimora. I can't wait for crowds to sing along with it when they're back. Oi, 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 oi. He teamed with Marco Stunt against FTR next, using Stunt's small stature as a strategic strength rather than a limitation. Dax in particular played the perfect foil, violently attacking Marco to just get kicked in the balls. FTR won with the Shatter Machine, which they renamed Big Rig in honor of Brody Lee's Chikara nickname. Speaking of, the Dark Order are rightfully full-on babyfaces now. Evil Uno said they're going to be good people from now on, and Hangman Page teased he'd announce whether he's joining them after their 6-man tag next week. The sweetness continued in a really terrific match between the Dark Order's Tay Conti and NWA Women's Champion Serena Deeb. Conti has improved so much, and her jiu-jitsu style blended well with Deeb's mat wrestling. Serena attained as Anna Jay didn't cheat, to help Conti win, instead just holding her hand. And after a great video package earlier recapping the Darby Allin vs Team Taz feud, which goes all the way back to July, only 9 months of which was Sting coming out to look at people, we got the match of the night, a ferocious clash between Brian Cage and Allin for the TNT title. Cage is very big and strong. Just look at those pistons. Allin is over 100 pounds smaller and will take any bump imaginable. These two factors combined to create some excellent high drama wrestling. First, Cage threw Allin over the top rope through a table outside, then 3 powerbombs in a row, and then a powerbomb over the top rope onto the stage. But Darby kept kicking out at one, resiliently holding up his middle finger. Darby turned the momentum with a coffin drop on the steel steps outside. Starks tried to interfere, but Sting hit him with the bat in his first physical spot since joining. Allin retained with a second rope crucifix bomb, keeping everyone looking really strong, and Sting posed alongside Darby to close the show. What did you think of Dynamite? Let me know in the comments down below, and follow us on Twitter at WrestleTalk_TV to vote in our poll on a poll match, where 44.4% of you voted excellent. NXT, meanwhile, which saw the debut of former Impact faction The Rascals, was 50% good. While this wasn't as incredible as the recent string of AEW shows, that is a very high bar. Everything on this episode was very good to great, and the main event is one of the best TV matches of the year so far. This week's Dynamite, again, is 4 out of 4. Ricochet isn't the only one potentially leaving WWE. Matt Riddle's contract is up in the air too. Click the video on the right to find out more. And the controversy continues with Vince McMahon. Find out about his lawsuit explained by clicking the video below that. Subscribe to WrestleTalk for daily wrestling news videos. I've been Mr. Davis. Jam that jam.